Kanye, turn it down, I'm trying to film! Jesus. Sorry, Kanye moved into the room next to mine to finish the rest of Donda. It's completely thrown my schedule off track.
Spelling, The Turning Wheel.
I listened to this when it first came out, I listened to it again after some people asked why I didn't cover it last time, and I definitely listened to it again after Big Boss Melon Man gave it the good old double Digimon Supreme. It's not that it's bad. It's not that it's bad. I liked it. It's not clicking with me for some reason.
Half-Waif, Mythopoetics.
It's like the saying goes, never half-waif 2 albums, whole waif 1 album.
Faye Webster, I Know I'm Funny, haha.
Between 2019's Atlanta Millionaires Club and this new album, Faye Webster is becoming a force to be reckoned with. She has cornered the market on Yeehaw Melancholy. Yeelan Hawley. Oh no.
Vince Staples, Self-Titled.
Even though I don't love this one as much as other Vince Staple records, I still gotta commend him for adding yet another album to his discography that shows such emotional richness and complexity. Also, Kenny Beats on this thing. How you gonna hate on Kenneth Beatsburg?
DGs, aka Foo Fighters, Hail Satin.
Cool, I guess?
Charlotte Day Wilson, Alpha.
I was really surprised when I found out that this was Charlotte's first full LP. I've just seen her name so often in the past that I just figured she already had a full body of work. But this debut album of hers is a confident and genre-diverse listen. Also, for anybody who's heard this already, was that Jacob Collier doing vocal harmonies on the opener? Because it sounds a lot like him, but in my research I couldn't find anybody credited for doing them. That'd be cool.
The Goon Sax, Mirror 2.
I can't believe the Goon Squad from Space Jam made a pretty good alt-rock album. What was that? Oh, one of them plays sax? That's sick!
Space Jam, A New Legacy soundtrack.
It's bad. It feels like the only reason it exists is because the first movie soundtrack was so widely loved, and they were like, okay, I guess we gotta do that too if we're making a sequel. Also, this gives me a chance to briefly turn into Film the Set and talk about my thoughts on the movie. It's got some decent slapstick, but it's very reliant on references and can occasionally feel very cringe and out of touch. Basically, it feels like it only exists to make a bunch of shareholders and executives richer than they already are. So it's the perfect Space Jam sequel.
The Go Team, Get Up Sequences, Part 1.
Well, shiver me timbers, I ripped open the fabric of time and space again. I need something to show that the universe is still working properly, like an album from a band that is very much in line with their past work. Whew, that was close.
Pop Smoke, Faith.
It's great that Pop Smoke's family came together to curate this and put it together, but it doesn't stop some of these tracks from feeling very half-baked. It's great that a bunch of A-listers and celebrities came on to lend their voice to this project, but it doesn't stop their features from feeling very underwhelming. It sucks because I want to say more, and I want to honor Pop Smoke, who was taken from us far, far too soon, but I don't know. It sucks when posthumous albums come out like this.
Prince, Welcome to America.
I also hate when posthumous albums come out like this, but this time it's because it makes me miss Prince more than I already did.
John Mayer, Sob Rock.
John's writing and playing is as technically proficient as ever, but I don't know, am I missing a joke here or something? I can be like, haha, what an ironic 80s throwback, but there's some guy out there who loves this thing unironically. He's always decked out in vineyard vines, his family's got a summer house on Martha's Vineyard, and his favorite activities are brewskis with the boys and gaslighting women. Who is correct in this situation? Me or him?
Dave, We're All Alone in This Together.
I respect Dave as an artist, I like this new album a good deal more than his last, and yet every time I hear that title, all I can think of is High School Musical. I'm sorry, I can't help it that my brain broken.
Tones and I, Welcome to the Madhouse.
I feel bad because I was reading into this album and the lead singer was talking about how the lyrics were inspired by the pandemic and the mental health struggles that she and everyone else were going through. And I want to respect that, and I want to commend them for talking about it in their music, but I am also never going to touch this album again, and it is entirely because of the vocals. I'm sorry.
Billie Eilish, Happier Than Ever.
Singles-wise, this album doesn't really have a bad guy or bury a friend, but as a full experience, it is way more cohesive and well-paced than Wafa Dewig. You don't have a pizza stone!
Salt, 9.
Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, this is the closest I've ever come to clicking with Salt's music.
Willow, Lately I Feel Everything.
I know most people already know this, but I just need to make sure that I'm perceiving reality correctly. The daughter of Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, most well-known previously for Whip My Hair, released a 2000s era pop-punk album featuring Travis Barker and Avril Lavigne. And it slaps.
Bleachers, Take the Sadness Out of Saturday Night.
It's fine. Stop Making This Hurt is going to slay live though.
Logic, Bobby Tarantino, 3.
This is apparently his last album before he goes into retirement, which, I mean, I for one would love to hear his Kingdom Come. No, this is too acceptable to be his Kingdom Come.
Darkside, Spiral.
I had no idea Darkside was back. For those who don't know, Darkside is the project of composer Nicholas Jarre and guitarist Dave Harrington. They were way more active in the early 2010s, and apparently this is their first new album in about 8 years. If you were a fan of that Against All Logic album from last year and would be into hearing it with a more progressive psych rock leaning, highly recommend this one.
Leon Bridges, Gold Digger's Sound.
Damn, the opener of this album with Robert Glasper knocked my socks off. The rest of it is like fine or whatever. Nothing really reaches the same heights, but man, what a good track.
Isaiah Rashad, The House is Burning.
It's 8:30 p.m. I just had my 4th coffee of the day, and this new Isaiah Rashad is such a knee slapper that it makes me want to headbang myself to the moon, or die trying.
Clairo, Sling.
The buzz surrounding this album has been absolutely insane, and I've seen a good amount of people on the internet.gov saying that they think I'm gonna like this one a lot. Oh man, I can't wait to listen to it. Honestly, if I don't end up loving this thing, I am ending the Quick Review Basharoo. So yeah, thank you for watching, and be on the lookout for an update video in the next couple weeks.